So for those of you at home with those 11 to 12-month-old babies, I know over this past year you've been tackling some pretty big sleep challenges. Well, as they're about to turn 1, those sleep changes happen yet again because you have the language surge, the cognitive surge, the gross motor surge, increased separation anxiety, and unfortunately, their 1-year molars are starting to come in, and those are killers for sleep. So today, I want to jump to some nuggets that are going to help you manage and tackle these big sleep changes. Number 1, baby's bedtime should stay consistent or should be even earlier. With that language and cognitive surge that your baby is facing, you might have noticed when you put them down, let's say at your magical 7 p.m. bedtime, they're chit-chatting and talking away for like an hour, and it takes them forever to wind down and fall asleep because they're practicing all of those language skills and their mind is working so quickly and fast. So you can do a couple of things. Stay consistent with that bedtime and just know it'll take them a little while to fall asleep, or put them to bed earlier, so if they're gonna stay awake for that hour chatting it away, when they do fall asleep, it'll be right back again at 7 p.m. They're not gonna get overtired, which could reduce some of those nighttime wakings. And hey, we're all about that. Next, give your baby some active time before you start your bedtime routine. Because of that gross motor developmental surge that your baby is facing right now, they need and want to be active. They want to move those bodies. So after that last nap, get them active. Take them onto a swing set, push them in a swing, play with them in the backyard or at a park using the ball, run them up and down the sidewalk, chase them around your house. Get that energy out before you start the bedtime routine. What can happen at this age is they're so deliciously funny and super engaged that during the bedtime routine, if you don't get that energy out before, they're gonna be super hyper and active and you're gonna have so much fun playing with them, they're gonna miss their sleep window. They're now overtired and overstimulated. The more hyper they are, you've missed that window. So make sure active first, then a nice soft bedtime routine to get them ready for sleep. Next, stay consistent with healthy sleep habits to ease that separation anxiety. So as your baby around this age is getting up and physically starting to move away, emotionally they start to panic because they're not ready to move away from you yet. So separation anxiety increases. Definitely check out my episode on separation anxiety to give you even more nuggets on how to tackle this challenging part in your child's life. In terms of sleep, for those of you with the 11 to 12-month-olds that are experiencing this, here's what I recommend. Use the 5-minute check-in approach. I'm gonna explain it for you. When you put your baby down after that consistent bedtime approach and they start to holler because of that separation anxiety, you're gonna do a check-in. I hear you, I know that this is difficult, it's time to say goodnight, I love you, and you leave the room again. And then you watch the clock. If for those 5 minutes they continue to call for you and express that separation anxiety, you're gonna come back in and say exactly the same thing. I hear you, I know it's hard to say goodnight, I love you, and you leave the room again. If they stop and they calm down and soothe and start to put themselves to sleep, your check-ins are all done. If they continue to experience that separation anxiety every 5 minutes, you're going to come back. So it's a regular, rhythmic wave. They can trust that you're coming back, but you don't change your behavior. You say the same thing, so it opens the space up for them to change their behavior, to self-soothe, and to go to sleep. I always say to my parents, look, if going in hundreds of times and doing 50,000 different things would reduce their separation anxiety, I would say go for it, because trust me, it's so awful to hear, and we want to do anything to make them feel better. But all of those interventions amp up separation anxiety. Staying very consistent with these check-ins to teach your baby it's okay to feel this way, soothe, and go to sleep, you're going to transition through it much faster. And finally, treat the teething discomfort before your baby goes to bed. Those 1-year molars that are coming in are really painful and uncomfortable, and when they lay down for sleep at night, it starts to pulse and throb. So make sure to use whatever homeopathic approach you like or whatever your pediatrician recommends that you're comfortable with to reduce that teething pain to help them sleep better through the night during this big challenging time of molars. So there you have it, my nuggets on how to tackle some of those sleep changes you experience with your soon-to-be 1-year-old. I would love to hear from you, not only some of the sleep challenges you're having, but some great remedies that you found. Go ahead and post them below. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.